Hello everyone, welcome to my Chapter 9 Content Mastery for Principles of Marketing. Today I'll be going over segmentation, defining it, and discussing its significance and importance for marketers. I'll also be discussing the criteria for effective segmentation and the basis segmentation that marketers can use. I'll also be identifying a number of segments to target and explaining how identification and selection of segments can influence marketing strategy. And then to wrap everything up, I will explain the concept of positioning and whether segmentation influences positioning or does positioning influence segmentation. So let's get started. What is segmentation? So I would define segmentation as the process of dividing a full market into smaller, more manageable chunks or groups of people who share similar wants, needs, and characteristics. The purpose of this segmentation is mainly to help marketers to identify specific groups so they can design their marketing strategies effectively and they can use the marketing mix, price, product, place, and promotion to categorize each section on its own so it can use those four factors in each and every segmentation that it uses. Its significance can be to improve the understanding of the market. It can enable the companies to focus on the resources more efficiently. It makes it easier to satisfy the customers and their needs and to kind of raise the bar ahead of the competitors because you're focusing more on the customer directly, and it can also increase profit since you're targeting the most responsive segments that you can. An example of all this would be how a sneaker brand like Adidas or Nike, how they segment by lifestyle. So they'll try to segment athletes versus like casual wearers. So they'll create two different opportunities to market and market each one individually. So next up, number two, criteria for effective segmentation and the basis of segmentation. So there's five criteria, five criteria for effective segmentation, and this is measurable, which includes the size and characteristics of a segment, how accessible it is, if the segment can be reached through marketing efforts, how substantial it is, if the segment's large or profitable enough to serve, four, how differentiable it is. So, are the segments distinct and do they respond differently to marketing mixes? And then five, is it actionable? Is the company must be able to develop effective marketing programs for the segment. And kind of the ways to market to segment markets, the bases can be by geographic location, so region, could be your city, um, could be based on climate, it could also be demographic, like age, gender, family size, income level. It could be behavioral, so like brand loyalty, if you're loyal to that brand, how ready you are to buy a product, what benefits you you seek. Can also be psychographic, so your lifestyle, your values, your interests, your overall personality. And then it could also be product related, so how the consumers interact with or how they're using the product. And so now, after identifying the segment, what comes next? So the step after segmentation is targeting. So once you identify the segments, marketers will have to evaluate and then select which segments to target. And they'll most likely determine each segment's size, um, growth potential, and compatibility to their company based on which resources they have and the goals that the company has. And this influences the marketing strategy um, based on the marketing mix, product, price, place, and promotion. It determines what features or benefits will attract the most people, how much the segment is willing to pay, where and how it's going to distribute the products, and what the overall message to the audience will be. And now let's look at positioning and its relationship with segmentation. So, positioning is more or less creating and then maintaining a concept or image of a product in a consumer's mind compared to the other competitors too. So this is how marketers would want to target the market and how they want the customers to perceive the product. Um, Positioning really focuses on differentiation, so what makes the product and the brand unique, and it also uses common strategies like price and quality, how many times the product's being used, what level, like what class the product is, um, and how it can be compared against competitors. This relationship between segmentation and positioning can be explained how segmentation is the one influencing positioning. Because once you identify your target segments, you then position your product to attract specifically to a certain group. And like an example would be a luxury car company like Rolls-Royce. Let's take Rolls-Royce per chance. Rolls-Royce will target high income customers, and that's their segment. And then they'll position themselves as a symbol of, like, based on their luxurious status and their performance, their high performance. So segmentation comes first, and then positioning kind of reinforces how that brand connects with the target segment that is being illustrated here. And that sums up everything, the 4 ideas, and thank you for watching.